Hi there, Stan the Annuity Man, America's Annuity Agent, licensed in all 50 states. Everyone says, why do you keep saying that, Stan? Because that's just what I do. I mean, I go home every night. I look at my lovely wife, Christine, of 34 years, and I say, hi, Stan the Annuity Man home, licensed in all 50 states. And oh, by the way, Christine, I am America's Annuity Agent. She's like, I don't care. You care, and that's good. And the reason you're here is we're talking about annuities and taxes and where annuities go on the tax forms and all that stuff. So we're going to get into that ugly quicksand of nonsense tax-isms after this. So getting back to me coming home and telling my wife and announcing that I'm Stan the Annuity Man, America's Annuity Agent, licensed office, all that stuff. The question someone asked me the other day, they're like, do you wear all this logo gear at home? Yes, but it's not as fancy. Like I have logo gear sweats, logo gear shorts, logo gear socks. And so my wife just, it's like, can we buy something without a logo on it? Maybe, I don't know. Let's talk about taxes and annuities. First of all, and let me just pound the fictitious invisible table here. We do not give tax advice. We are not CPAs. We are not tax lawyers. Those are the only people that can give tax advice legally. So if you have an agent, I don't know why you wouldn't be using us, but let's just say your brother-in-law is an agent, or your sister-in-law is an agent, or your sister's an agent, and they're giving tax advice, just walk away, unless they're a CPA, which leads me to a whole another thing. If a CPA is selling annuities as well, get up and walk out of that office too, because the CPA needs to focus on taxes and not be trying to make a side hustle selling annuities. So I've done some videos on that, and the CPA world, half of them love me for that video, and the other half that are trying to sell annuities and do taxes hate me. But the bottom line is, if you need tax advice, you need to see a CPA and a tax lawyer. And it really, there's a couple of situations that really make sense, and we're not even going to get into any type of conversation if you call us. One's on inherited annuities or inheritance type stuff. We are going to point you immediately to a CPA and a tax lawyer. No financial advisor that doesn't have those two credentials should be giving that tax advice. So take it seriously. You don't want to make a tax mistake, because the IRS doesn't care if you made a tax mistake. They'll penalize you for the tax mistake. So it might make sense for you to spend some money to get real tax advice. But let's talk about annuities from the standpoint of just 30,000-foot view taxes. So with the 30,000-foot view, no-brainer stuff we're going to talk about today. If you want to take that plane down, then you go see the CPA, and land the plane, go see the CPA and the tax lawyer. When you take money out of an annuity, let's just say it's in a non-IRA setting, you're going to pay taxes last in, first out at ordinary income levels. Now let me go back a little bit. You can have annuities inside of IRAs, inside of Roth IRAs, in a non-qualified checking savings account, those type of things. You can do all of that. The only difference is when you take money out is the taxation of that money. Obviously you have it in a Roth, you've already paid taxes on the Roth and current rules, unless our friends in DC change them. If you take money out, it's going to be tax-free. If you have annuities of any type inside of an IRA, when you take money out, just like everything coming out of an IRA, it's going to be taxed, right, at ordinary income levels. Just because it's coming out of the IRA, you've been deferring all of this time. But I think a lot of the confusion is when you have money using it with non-IRA assets, what we call non-qualified. Qualified accounts are IRAs, okay, 401ks, things like that. But non-IRA assets in annuities, it just depends on the type. Let me give an example. The CD type annuities, like multi-year guarantee annuities and fixed index annuities, when you take money out and it's in a non-qualified setting, you're taking out gains first, last in, first out. That's what that means in English, gains first. And you're paying taxes at ordinary income levels. If you have an immediate annuity or deferred income annuity, which are lifetime income annuitization products using non-IRA assets, there's something that's called an exclusion ratio. Let me tell you what that is in English. Any type of lifetime income with an annuity is a combination of return of principal plus interest. So in a non-IRA setting, you're only paying taxes on the interest portion of that income amount. When you run quotes at theannuityman.com, you can use our calculators and run single premium immediate annuity, SPIA quotes, and deferred income annuity, DIA quotes. You're going to see the breakdown if you're using non-IRA assets, what part is principal and what part is interest. and the interest part is the part you're going to be paying taxes on. Now, another thing that comes up a lot is, let's just say someone says, okay, Stan, the annuity man, or they talk to somebody on my team, I want to buy this immediate annuity, okay? And I want to buy it in a non-IRA setting or IRA setting, whatever. One of the questions we get all the time is, can we have the annuity company take out the taxes for us? The answer is yes. During the application process, and oh, by the way, we handle everything from start to finish, got the greatest team on the planet that does that, just tell them, hey, I want the taxes withheld by the annuity company. We can make it turnkey for you. So just remember that. Put that in the back of your head, that during the application process, you can have that happen. Now, with a lot of the deferred annuities, like index annuities and multi-year guarantee annuities, that let's just say you buy a 3-year guarantee or a 5-year guarantee, at the end of that term, that doesn't mean you have to pay taxes on what you've gained. You can always do what the IRS has approved in their code 1035. If you're bored, look it up, section 1035. And it says that you can transfer from one annuity to another, and there's a non-taxable event, doesn't trigger any taxes. Hockey analogy, you can just keep pushing the tax puck down the ice. Country, Southern, Stanley, North Carolina analogy, you just kick the tax can down the road. One more thing I want to talk about, I don't want to get into the weeds, as my director of operations says, talking about annuities is like having a conversation in quicksand. And she's right, because you could just go down the rabbit hole. That's the reason CPAs and tax lawyers need to be involved in the process. But a lot of people call me and they say, Stan, why do you say that people should not own annuities when they're less than 50 years old? Number one, I think you should be in the markets. I don't give market advice, but you should get real growth because you have a long life expectancy, et cetera. But when you have, let's just say, a non-qualified multi-year guarantee annuity or index annuity, and you're 45 years old and someone sold you that, if you take money out of that before you're 59 and a half, there's going to be a penalty, a 10% IRS penalty. Once again, we can go down rabbit holes about certain situations and 72T rules, but that's one of the reasons I tell people when you're less than 50, don't really think about it. And if you're in your 50s and you're talking to us about annuities, we're going to ask you, what's the plan of taking money out? Had a call the other day, guy said, well, I understand the 59 and a half rule. I just want to buy a 5-year MIGA, and then when I'm 55, I want to roll it to another 5-year MIGA, and then when I'm 60, I'm either going to transfer that to an immediate annuity or start taking interest out. Okay, great, you're past the 59 and a half rule. But I think if I've done anything with this video is I've kind of woken you up a little bit. This can be complex. And there's no mulligans, there's no do-overs with these type of decisions when it comes to taxes. And that's the reason we work side by side with CPAs and side by side with tax lawyers to make sure that you have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. Okay, one last thing about the annuities and taxes. Obviously, the internet is ripe with people with great ideas, marketing ideas, and kind of bait and switch ideas to get you to their site. They might have a tax calculator, annuity tax calculator, and all that stuff to get your name and to get all that stuff and type it in. Just remember, nothing wrong with that, and I have nothing against those people that are trying to do that, okay? But just remember, you can play around with that, but at the end of the day, it's about the CPA and the tax lawyer. I need to make that rhyme better. At the end of the day, it's about the tax lawyer and the CPA, right? Right. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Leave comments if you want, we'll answer them. And I'll see you on the next Stan the Annuity Man YouTube video.